Stories for the rain.
The Home Invasion by u/SkeetsDatadroid. Several years ago, I was involved in a car accident that caused some minor spinal injuries, mostly swelling that resulted in partial paralysis. Not able to return home due to us living in an apartment on the second floor with no elevator, I became a resident at a physical therapy rehabilitation center. After finally regaining the ability to walk, aided by a walker, and moving around in a wheelchair, it was decided that I would get my own place using Section 8 housing. After much searching, I found a nice spot, a ground floor condo in a relatively safe part of town. The one-room condo had a wide living room with attached kitchenette and a wide hallway leading to the bedroom in the back of the place. With my friend's help, I was all moved in, ready to begin living independently for the first time. After a great first meal in my own place, pizza from a local restaurant, I decided to go to bed. As days turned to weeks, I began to learn the ins and outs of life in this condo complex, and for the most part, everything was fine. Except for this skeevy guy who would often be seen prowling around, who I later learned was the brother of one of my neighbors. Said sleazeball was a perpetually recovering meth addict who would live with his brother whenever his girlfriend would throw him out of their apartment. Upon learning this news, my father came to see me one evening out of the blue. After a nice dinner, he asked me if I still had my concealed carry permit, and me being a proud supporter of the Second Amendment, answered in affirmative. However, my gun was still in storage and not yet in my possession. He smiled and, reaching into his bag, presented me with a housewarming present. An X-Tac Elite Carry Comp, one of his favorite pieces in his collection. After bidding my father a fond farewell, I decided to retire to my bedroom, and after watching YouTube videos on my Fire TV, decided to fall asleep. A few weeks go by and I largely forget about my new toy, having stashed it away in the drawer next to my bed, until the day in question. I had to do some grocery shopping, and after calling for my transportation, a company called Veo that offers free rides for the disabled, I go to the store and buy my groceries for the week. And after thanking the driver for helping me bring them inside, I pack them away and, once again, retire to bed. Several hours later, I wake up to a noise that sounds like scratching at my bedroom door. Opening it, I see nothing, but hear it further down the hallway, and it hits me that someone is trying to pry the door open. Slowly closing the bedroom door, I fish in the drawer for my gun. I take it out of its holster and place it at my side with the safety off. I slowly roll down the hallway to the kitchen just in time to hear the door give away. A flashlight beam scans the interior just in front of the door as the shadowy silhouette of the intruder enters. Needless to say, he is surprised when I flip the lights on and he finds himself bathed in fluorescent glow of overhead lights. He looks at me shocked at first, and then, remembering he's got a knife, and I'm a seemingly helpless guy in a wheelchair, his eyes suddenly grow the size of saucers. I produce my gun from the chair beside me and fire, hitting him center mass. He drops his knife and heads screaming outside the door and collapses on the ground feet away. I hear his labored breathing, most likely from a collapsed lung, and grab for the phone to call the police. As I'm on the phone with them, other residents, probably woken by either the shot or subsequent scream, emerge from their condos to see the potential robber splayed out on the lawn. The police soon arrive and render emergency first aid to the guy before the paramedics arrived and took over. I give my statement to the police, and they of course have to take my gun in as evidence, which I begrudgingly handed over. I later get it back after the shot is ruled self-defense. Yippee. Come to find out sometime later that my late-night visitor was the sketchy brother of my neighbor. The police said that he confessed on planning to rob me because cripples are easy targets, his exact words. The cop who told me this looked at me and smiled slyly, saying that he chose the wrong cripple, I guess, with a reassuring pat on the shoulder. As for the brother, who was my neighbor, he and his girlfriend were encouraged to move out. And I was thankful to see him go, because a new tenant moved in soon afterwards. A much better person, if I do say so myself. The drug addict brother survived, and last I heard, was in prison with a 5-year sentence for armed robbery in the first degree.
Hello there, YouTube. Stormy here. Do you like scary stories? Do you like podcasts? Do you like Cthulhu? Well, I have good news for you. Scary Stories for the Rain is now available on all popular podcasting platforms. Wow, that's really hard to say, but we will be posting all of the terrifying tales read here on the channel. Now you will be able to take us anywhere, so the horror will never have to end. If any of this sounds interesting to you, make sure to give us a follow. All of the links will be available down in the description below. And thank you all so much for your continued support. And I hope to see you in the next tale. If we all survive.